What's up, you guys? It's KeAmber Vaughn, aka Coach Ke, coming back to you with another video. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're not new, welcome back. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and also tap the bell so that you are notified of every new video that I post. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video, we are already in April, you guys. This is the April 2018 budget with me video. I cannot believe the year is going by so fast, but that just means I'm closer to being out of debt, which I cannot wait for you guys to see my debt update. So let's go ahead and flip to April. As you guys can see, everything is already filled out. I started doing this a couple of months ago and I like it this way so the video is not like 30 minutes long. Everything is pretty much the same. The only things I don't have filled in are the bill due amounts for my gas and my electricity bill. I will not know those until like the middle of the month. I am going on a trip to New Orleans. There is a seminar that I am training in for this month coming up. And then there's also an event that I'm doing for my cousin. She is like a manager for one of the boys and girls clubs here, I believe. And so she asked me to do a financial literacy segment for the parents. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's like all about being like entrepreneurs, stuff like that. Like they have some entrepreneurs coming in to teach the girls how to be girl bosses. And so she asked me, did I want to do that or did I want to do financial literacy? And of course I chose financial literacy. So down here, my quote for the month is, success doesn't just come and find you, you have to go out and get it. And I thought that was really, really important for me because last month had to be one of my best months in a very, very, very long time. I actually think that is the most debt that I've paid off since I started this journey in November of 2016. And watch out for the debt update. You guys will be able to see how much debt I was able to pay off this month. But also just all around business, everything. I'm back to doing other things outside of business that are my passion, and it's helping to keep me fulfilled, and it's also bringing money in, so that's pretty cool too. And then up here I use this like no spend tracker thing, but I'm not actually going to use it for that. All I'm going to do is at the end of every week, I'm just going to track how much money I spent for that particular week. You guys know that my expenses run on a Friday to Friday type of schedule, but I want to still be able to track like the actual weeks of the month. So at the end of each week, I'll just put down how much money I spent that week in everyday expenses. I'm not going to use these letters here for the no spend because my planner already comes with no spend dots, so that's how I use that. For those of you guys who are wondering, most of these stickers came from the Agenda 52 Payday Foil sticker pack. Got this from Michael's for 40 or 50% off, can't remember. The quote comes from the Happy Planner, this sticker book. It has 6 sheets in it. And then some of these clearer stickers here comes from the Recollections Creative Yearbook. And then these stickers, as well as this one, the event, the Be There Important, and I think this one comes from another sticker pack, and I don't know the name of this one. I just know it came looking like this, and I think there was 6 sheets and there was like 2 sheets the same of each of the 3 types of sheets, if that makes sense. So that's where that comes from. And like I said, I don't remember the name of that one, but I got that one from Michael's as well. I have 8 paydays this month, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, so let's keep going. All right, so here is what my fixed expenses look like for the month. Again, nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed with this, Walmart did go up on the money order price. It used to be 70 cents, now it's 88, so I just went up on that. Everything else I'm keeping the same. My electricity bill was only like 35 bucks in March, but I'm gonna keep it at 50. I think I'll just keep it at 50 because I know like once it starts getting hot outside, I'm going to be using the electricity more for the AC and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure I have not had a bill over $50, actually really over 40 or 45. My gas bill I'm going to keep at 70. I thought that I wouldn't have to use the heat as much this month, but man, it's been getting so cold. It's like it'll be really, really warm, spring, summer like for like 3 days, and then we'll have like a week where it's super duper cold. So I'm just gonna keep that there because my gas bill was like $65.41 in March, if I'm not mistaken. Everything else is the same here. As far as this goes, my grocery bill, I'm keeping the same at $200. Personal household, I went down by $25 because this month is a 4-week month instead of 5. So I did $100 for that. Restaurants is $100 as well. That one I went down by the same $25. Gas, I'm keeping at $150. Shopping, I went up $50 because there's actually this like drawer thing that I want to buy from Bed Bath & Beyond to go underneath my bathroom sink so that I can keep all my hair products in there, because the way that that sink is made, like the bottom of the, like, you know, the under part of it is wood, and I don't want that wood to rot away because of the water like sitting, you know, on my bottles of my hair products when I get out the shower and stuff. So I'm just trying to protect the wood really. And then I'm also thinking about getting the Lexington cart from Michael's because I have an IKEA desk and it's pretty bulky and it's a very deep desk. I'm 5'10", so bending down to get all the way in the back of this desk really hurts my back. So I think that I just want to get one of the carts so I can put it next to my desk and have all of my supplies right there, all of my notebooks and stuff like that. Miscellaneous, I am going to keep this particular category for now because we do have a couple of birthdays in April, and then my grandfather, who passed away a couple of years ago, his birthday was in April. So since he passed away, we've still been going out to eat on his birthday just like we did when he was still alive. So I'm just assuming that we're going to do the same thing. Supplements, I'm keeping at 75. Business, I went down to 300, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So my total fixed expenses is $1,615.58, and then the total budgeted expenses is $1,175. All right, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. This is where I do my paycheck to paycheck budgeting. For those of you guys who are new, I am self-employed. I estimate my income because I don't know my income for the most part until like the week before I get paid. So that's just how that works. So my budgeted expenses for the month, and this just includes like the groceries, personal household, miscellaneous, all of that equals $800. So I divided that by 4. So that means on average, my budgeted expenses will be about $200 a week. And then of course I need to add in my supplements of $75. I need to add in my business expenses for $300. And then let me scoot over a little bit. I'm also going to have to, of course, write in my rent of $810.88. So the way that I do my rent for April was already saved like the second week of March, and so that's pretty much what I do. Like around the second or third week of the month, sometimes the first week of the month, I just go ahead and put my rent for the following month off to the side. That way, as I'm going through my everyday life of spending money, I'm not thinking that I have more money than I have because I have this extra $810 sitting in my account that's really for rent. So I just take it out of the way so I can't see it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to be budgeting for an estimated $4,000 income. I overestimate my expenses, I underestimate my income. That is what works best for me because I can have a really good month this month, an average month the next month, and a really low income month the following month. You just kind of never know. It's all based on sales and it's all based on your work, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is actually, I did not put the other color washi down. So I'm going to go ahead and put the washi down that's going to separate these boxes. Okay, so I'm done with that. I promise you guys, like, look, washi is just not my thing. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and write out, I'm just gonna divide my income, the $4,000, into these particular weeks. And again, it's underestimated. You guys, In March, I pretty much underestimated by like half almost. Actually, yeah, half. So yeah, but I rather keep it low because I rather budget my money based off of less income and be wrong as far as I make way more than me like budget off of what I actually think that I'm gonna make and then make less. So yeah, that's kind of how I got it there. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and write in the budgeted amount of $200 for each week. And I have no idea why I wrote that one so close to the line. Okay, so that's just so that I don't forget those. So for this first week, the only expense that I have is MailChimp, and that is $10. So let's go ahead and get that subtracted. So we're gonna subtract the 200, and of course that leaves us with 300. And then we subtract the $10 and that leaves us with $290. Okay, so this week, this is the week of my trip. So I'm going to take half of that $300 business expense or business budget and put that there. And then I have my Wi-Fi is $44.99. And yeah, okay, so we'll stop there. So let's take the $2,000, and I'm not sure if this is bright enough, so I'll just brighten it a little bit more. So $2,000 minus the 200 is 1,800. Okay, so this week we have HostGator for $11.95. So even though I don't know the exact amount of the gas, I do in my paycheck to paycheck budgeting plan, I do write out what I estimate it to be, but in the monthly layout is where I put where it actually is. Okay, so let's get that part going. Okay, and then this last week we only have a couple of more expenses. So we'll start off with the roadside assistance, which is $7.99. All right, so let's go ahead and get this last part done. Okay, so now that I have put all of those in, I'm gonna go ahead and add the supplements, the last $150, and then for the business, and then also the rent. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my rent out of this week because that's the only week where I can take the whole thing. If there's ever a time where I can't take the whole thing out of 1 week, I will just go ahead and take half 1 week and half the other week. But I can take the whole thing out here, which is usually what happens, is it coming out week 2. And then let's go ahead and do the supplements for, let's do the supplements here. And then we'll do the other business part here. Okay, so now we have to go ahead and try to reconcile because we do have a negative week here. I do know for sure I'm going to move my car loan to this week, and I want to do that anyway because that way my regular payment goes through this week, and on the 3rd, yeah, so that way on May 3rd I'll be able to, or probably like the last day of April, I'll be able to go ahead and put my extra payment in for my principal only car loan payment. So we're gonna go ahead and let's see, I'm gonna write car loan here, and we're putting this $262.53 back. So we take negative $53.23, and then we're gonna add $262.53, and that gets us back positive for this week. And then we're gonna just add the car loan in here. And there you have it. So now what I'm going to do, I got everything taken care of. I'm just going to highlight what my surplus is at the end of each of these weeks. And next I'm going to write them in down here. And at this point, I'm just going to add up the surplus for each of the weeks so I can see what my projected surplus is for the end of the month. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight that in a different color. And lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of plan out what I plan to do with this surplus. So let's go ahead and zoom you guys in just a little bit. Okay, so from this $1209.42 that I have left over, so this is going to be for my savings. This will be for debt, even though I don't have a credit card. That's the only like debt symbol that I have. And then what do I want this to be? I'm gonna write, I don't know what I want this to be. Because here's the thing, I've been putting money back into my mini emergency fund of $3,000. I took out $1,700 last October to pay my taxes. And by the end of this week, I'm filming this on, what is today? Today's March 27th. So by the end of this week, I'll have that completely back funded. So let's just say this is what I'm going to keep in my checking, because as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, I do not follow the every dollar budget. I keep money in my checking account. I guess you would kind of call it a buffer is what some Dave Ramsey people call it. I just call it keeping money in my checking account for my everyday expenses, for the things, you know, emergency things that happen. If I need something that's a couple $100s, I don't want to have to pull from my emergency fund. I want to be able to cash flow it with no problem. So that's just me. You ain't gotta be that way. So let's see. I'm going to say that I'm gonna keep about $484 in my checking. And actually, let's take it down to the cents. No, I'll keep it that way. And then I'm gonna put this one, I'll do down to the cents, $362.71 into my savings, which this will be for $200 will go to my tax sinking fund. I save $200 a month for that. And then the other, $162.71 will go into my investments sinking fund. This, of course, will go towards my car loan. That is the last debt that I have. Just wait until y'all see my balance. And then I'll keep this in my checking account just in case something comes up, I overspend, whatever. So this is the plan that I created for my money. I am projecting to have a surplus of over $1,200. This is what I want to do with that $1,200. More than likely, I'll make more money, which means I'll have more of a surplus, which means I'll have more money to kind of allocate to different places. But like I always say, if you overestimate your expenses and that overestimation of your expenses can fit into your underestimated income, then you're better off when you make more money, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.